Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free paint evaluation.
You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The Bucks are swooping into Atlanta to take on the Hawks.
Giannis going downhill, goes right past Brown and sends it down the facial. Served up from the Greek Freak.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Your top story, the vote is in for funding school resource officers.
I'm Jessica Tighe, preparing for his first national address to Congress since returning to office.
Cloudy, steady rain this afternoon into the evening. Might even hear a little bit of thunder. A high of 48 degrees. Rain likely tonight and a low of 41. 46 degrees and cloudy. Rain is on the way. It's 11:01 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom just moments ago in Milwaukee.
10 ayes, 4 noes.
10 ayes, 4 no. The file passes.
The Milwaukee Common Council approves the memorandum of understanding between the city and Milwaukee Board of School Directors to fund the required 25 school resource officers in Milwaukee Public Schools. Only 4 alderwomen voted against the measure. The agreement includes splitting the cost of the SROs 50-50 between MPS and the city. It also requires the city and MPS to provide 40 hours of training and a list of which officers are assigned to which schools in the district by March 15th.
While the Common Council was voting on SROs at MPS, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson was here at the WTMJ studios telling the Upswing he will support the district and its new superintendent.
Better educational outcomes are good for them. They're good for our city. They're good for our economy. They're good for public safety. They're just good for Milwaukee. And that, therefore, then is good for the state of Wisconsin. So we have a lot of work to do.
The MPS board meets tonight to discuss the SRO situation and the hiring of Dr. Brenda Casilius as superintendent.
New developments in a Waukesha death investigation.
17-year-old Nikita Kassup was arrested in Kansas on Friday. He's now in custody on felony theft charges after allegedly stealing his stepfather's car and gun. On Friday morning, the teenager's mother, Tatiana Kassup, and stepfather Donald Mayer were found dead in their Village of Waukesha home. Kansas police found a firearm, spent shell casings, ammunition, and driver's licenses belonging to the teenager's parents during a traffic stop. The family dog was also with him. Location data shows Kassup's cell phone leaving Waukesha on February 24th and traveling through multiple states before his arrest in Kansas. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
There are now more than 160 reported cases of measles across the U.S., the worst outbreak in West Texas. That's where the country's first measles death in more than a decade was reported. News Nation's Xavier Walton.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Health and Human Services Secretary, wrote an op-ed stressing the importance of vaccines, but added, the decision is deeply personal. That opinion, viewed by, some medical professionals and state officials, as somewhat controversial, believing that vaccinations against viruses like the measles save lives and protect vulnerable populations like very young children. Measles, incredibly contagious respiratory virus that causes painful rashes. In some cases, you see it here, infections causing pneumonia, blindness, brain swelling, even death.
Texas officials say the outbreak could continue for a couple more months.
Preparing for President Trump to address a joint session of Congress tonight, ABC's Karen Travers is in Washington.
Tonight, the White House says that the president's theme is renewal of the American dream, sort of echoing what he had in his inauguration speech in late January. He's going to focus on 4 big areas in his speech, kind of dividing it up into sections. It'll be on his record so far since he's taken office. I think that's where you'll hear him talk about the DOGE effort to reduce the federal workforce, streamline the federal government. He'll focus on that there. He's also going to talk about the economy. He'll talk about border security and what the White House says his efforts to have peace around the world. That'll be the foreign policy section.
The address comes as tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China went into effect at midnight. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow reacting negatively to the announcement of tariffs and other things here. The Dow down about 655 points on top of massive losses from yesterday. Currently trading at 42,536. NASDAQ off about 160 today, barely over the 18,000 mark at 18,191. S&P 500 is down about 75 today at 5774. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Rounding into form at the right time. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
Are you looking for a new car or truck? Well, good news. Inventories have really improved lately, and I have a few ideas to help you find the vehicle of your dreams. I'm Jim Token, president of ADAM, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The first step to getting that car of your dreams is to visit any of the 115 ADAM member dealerships, where you can see their selection in person and take test drives. You can also find out about the new cars they have on order and reserve the one you want. Or if you really want to get the exact car you're dreaming of, they can order it for you. It might take a few weeks for delivery, but hey, wouldn't it be nice to have the perfect vehicle built just for you? This is your chance. Plus, if you're thinking of trading in your current car or ending your lease early, you'll be amazed at what dealers are offering. And if you prefer to handle the negotiations and paperwork remotely, no problem. Most ADAM dealers will even bring cars to you for test drives. So don't wait. Start your search now. Find an ADAM member dealer near you at adamm.com.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAFFIC25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAFFIC25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAFFIC25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRAFFIC25.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks' two-game road trip wraps up tonight in Atlanta against the Hawks. Head coach Doc Rivers believes his team is rounding into form at the right time.
We're coming together as a team, and we're just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. Brewers pitcher Aaron Ashby having imaging done today on an oblique injury that forced him out of last night's game against the Reds. Brewers with a day off of Cactus League play today. And today's the deadline for NFL teams to apply the franchise tag to pending free agents. The Minnesota Vikings are not expected to use that tag on quarterback Sam Darnold.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have a closure that I want to let you know about. This one popped up about 10:30 this morning. I-43 South is closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42, and that's because of a fire. So just in case you're headed up in Manitowoc County, you're headed that way, or you're driving around that way right now, you're headed that way, I-43 South is closed right now from County XX to Wisconsin 42 because of a fire.
Well, the rain has not yet arrived. When it does, it's not going to go away. Expected to hit somewhere in the early afternoon in the southern part of the state and then encompass all of southeastern Wisconsin. Once it starts, it'll be steady. High of 48, rain likely tonight, a low of 41. Rain and possibly some flurries going to fly on the later part of the week here. So you're looking at Wednesday and maybe even on Thursday with a high of 46 on Wednesday, 38 your high on Friday. A little bit of cool off toward the end of the week. It is 41 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Well, we are back. Fully equipped, Wisconsin's Midday News. Jessica back after some well-deserved time off. You did a little Texas two-step.
I did. I went to San Antonio for the first time. I had never been. It was a blast. It's lovely. I like water, and it's along the Riverwalk. So it's kind of nice. You can have some Tex-Mex, a good margarita, and sit along the water.
There are river walks, and then there's what San Antonio has done with their river walk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the top of the list. Like, they've got it all figured out. That's a cool place.
It was nice. I will say, if you compare it to Milwaukee, there were certain areas that were lovely, and then there were a couple areas, I will admit, that were a little fatigued, a little tired. And you can see, as you travel across the country, certain areas where, maybe they don't have the money and they don't have the resources to make that a little bit better, a little bit brighter. So it was neat to walk through the whole Riverwalk and see the different parts of it and what it's like. Also took a little cruise at night, so that was cool.
Oh.
But by the way, do not let this go. It's also, dun, 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 a special day for you. Happy birthday, Greg Matzek.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You guys have spoiled me here. Gina bought me a coffee, which I still have. Thank you very much, Gina. I think she wanted to get herself a coffee, and that kind of helped prompt the trip.
Well,
but you guys went
But that was
together on
gift number
some
2.
delicious Crumble, beyond cookies. The assortment of things you can get at Crumble is off the charts, amazing.
They're like pies. They're not even like cookies.
I don't even know how to describe everything that's in there, but very kind of you. Great to have you back. Yes, my birthday falls on the only date of the year that is an actual command. I'll let you think about that for a second. Some big stories that we're following here this morning as we hit 11:10.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, President Donald Trump delivers a big televised speech to Congress tonight. It's his first since returning to office. The president is expected to touch on everything from immigration to the reductions in the federal workforce. This comes on the day new tariffs go into effect on goods from Mexico, Canada, and China. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest.
If these tariffs stay in place, economists expect you could start to see price hikes by Memorial Day. For groceries, it could be within weeks or even days. About 63% of U.S. vegetable imports come from Mexico. Think bell peppers, cucumbers, strawberries, tomatoes, limes, avocados, a lot of that fresh produce. And grocers, they can't really stockpile those foods in advance.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could, but that's all fresh. Canada's response? An immediate 25% tariff on $30 billion of American goods. And China is retaliating with additional 10 to 15% tariff on items including chicken, wheat, soybeans, and beef.
Number 2, Pope Francis resting today at a hospital in Rome, according to the Vatican, after being struck by 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure.
The fact that, he has avoided intubation or ending up in the ICU, he's not on blood pressure supporting medicines, these are all encouraging signs. They've also said his white blood cells, the ones that fight infection, have remained stable, so it doesn't seem like there's a new infection. So certainly these things show us that there are signs of improvement.
It's ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula. The 88-year-old Pope is not out of danger just yet, according to the Vatican, adding that his condition remains complex. 88, respiratory issues, tubes, he's fighting a good fight here and making slow signs of progress, but still hospitalized.
Yeah. Number 3, and happening now, the crew that's been on board the International Space Station since June is holding a news conference up in space. They're discussing the return to Earth. Remember Sonny and Butch? How can you forget them?
Yeah, they're still up there. They were supposed to be back like a year ago.
Yeah, these two, they're the astronauts who were scheduled to spend just 8 days in orbit. They found themselves in a forced, extended stay due to helium leaks in the Starliner's pressurization system. That's a simple way to say what was going on. But yeah, that's the crew and another astronaut named Nick. It's not just Sonny and Butch.
Just a guy named
Sonny,
Nick.
Butch, and Nick.
Don't forget about me. Bring me back.
Well, let's listen in on the update live in space, thanks to a feed from NASA.
Offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that processes went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that you would be hoping for.
I'll be happy to direct any additional questions on this topic to a subject matter expert after this news conference. Let's continue to focus on this cruise mission. Our next question comes from Will Robinson-Smith with Spaceflight Now.
I just like that they're having a news conference in space and that we're able to carry it live.
Time to talk with us.
That's crazy.
Question for Butch and or Sonny.
You both have had the opportunity to fly on Soyuz shuttle, Starliner, and now you're preparing to return on Dragon. So wonder, now that you're preparing for your fourth time on a different spacecraft, what that preparation work has been like, and what that flow of training has been for you guys these past few months. Thanks.
I'll give the quick answer. It's been fascinating. It's been amazing. We feel so fortunate to train on 4 different spacecraft, and each one has its own unique capabilities, its own unique systems, its own unique seats, everything suits. It's all been great, and to have that opportunity has been wonderful.
We're listening live right now, thanks to a feed from NASA. This is a news conference up in space. The crew that's been on board the International Space Station since June is talking about the return to Earth. But that one woman at the start who said to the person asking questions, we want to stay on topic. I'd like to pipe in. I wish I could, because I want to be like, ma'am, I'd like to stay on topic. I have one question. One question. When are Sonny and Butch coming back?
It's a pretty simple question, right? I mean, isn't it really the only question? You're trying to figure out when to get these folks home. They have been out there for way too long. I don't know if they're truly enjoying themselves at this point. I'm sure there's many they miss here in the United States, on American soil, right? On the Earth, but they are still stuck in space.
What an adventure. When I was looking up this feed, I happened to just kind of find some interesting facts about the International Space Station, some things I didn't know ahead of time. I think this is fascinating. So 8 spaceships can be connected to the space station at one time. That's one fun fact. Also, it's larger than a 6-bedroom house. It has 6 sleeping rooms, 2 bathrooms, a gym, and a 360-degree view bay window. It doesn't sound so bad.
It does sound like pleasant accommodations if you're going to be out there for a year or so. 11:16 on WTMJ. Hey, this is the time of year where scammers like to get their scam on. What do you need to be looking out for? We've got an update after this.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
The Chief Marketing Officer at Sprecher Brewing Company, Sam Keene, joins us. Your new partnership with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
They didn't bat an eye when we brought these gaming IPs in. They sold it into retailers. That really set the tone that we were onto something. We're growing new consumers with these programs. That is huge. And
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list.
But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again.
What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree.
What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Tired of staring at the same old garage door? Vince Vitrano here, Lifetime Door Company, wants to give you a new one for free. Your chance to win by texting GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. All you need to do is take a picture of your garage door or get creative. Tell us a story. Register to win, and you can pick the door of your dreams. Valued at up to $8,000, text GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
The top 10 scams of 2024. The Better Business Bureau just released the data. Senior Director of Investigations at the Better Business Bureau serving Wisconsin, Lisa Schiller, joins us live in the studio to reveal the list. Thanks for being here again, Lisa.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, and happy Consumer Protection Week to everyone.
Oh.
Is that this week?
It is. This is the week.
I feel like it should be every week.
I agree with you.
Greg thought for a minute you were going to say
It is
happy
for me.
birthday. Happy birthday, Greg. That's what we thought you were going to say.
Oh, happy birthday, Greg.
No, it is my birthday. I didn't get any scam notes on my birthday. The last one I received was, hey, whatever recruiting service, we've got your resume and think you'd be a great fit for this job posting. I did not click on what it was. I chose not to.
I can send you lots of scams for your birthday if you'd like.
Oh, good. Thank you. Please
Lots
do
of
so.
examples, sure.
Thank you.
Wrapped up with a bow. Okay, so the number one scam of 2024 slides into that spot for the second year in a row. What is it, and why are people losing so much money to it?
Correct. It's investment scams and also crypto scams. And that is really, again, it's the second year in a row that it's number one. We have 80% people reporting losing money with the second highest amount of money loss at over $5,000. A lot of people we see falling for these investment scams, usually via being contacted on social media. So Facebook Messenger. You know, people think it's a friend of theirs that's contacting them, offering them a grant or some type of investment, some type of way to invest money and, double, triple your money quickly.
So since that is the number one investment scam, just quickly in a nutshell, what are some things to look out for so people can avoid this and not lose money? I mean, talking about each person possibly losing up to $5,000. That's not chump change.
It is not chump change at all. And I think, the thing is that any time that you are offered the chance to invest money and turn that money into larger amounts of money fairly quickly is a huge red flag. I mean, if it sounds too good to be true, I hate to say it, but that's the case.
Yeah.
Right.
People are filing taxes right now, too. Lisa, this is a very busy time for the IRS. Is it a good reminder of what the IRS does and doesn't do when there might be an issue with your return?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as IRS scams go, what we're seeing reported is people saying that they got a text message in regard to the IRS. They need to contact the IRS immediately. Of course, the IRS would never contact you via text message. The other important thing to remember about IRS scams is to file early, file as quickly and as early as you can so that your tax forms are not, stolen and used by some, perpetrator out there.
So IRS scams very timely right now, but on this list, we mentioned investment scams number one, employment scams number two. That is something that we both have gotten texts about. That's popping up like no other these days.
It is, and I'm getting reports of these daily. I can't even keep up with them, really, employment scams. And this is, one of those scams that actually it's number two for the second year in a row. So it's been very common ever since COVID. We have not seen it die down at all. A lot of people looking for employment. I would say with the employment scams, they're really hitting youth, the younger age groups the most. Probably not hard to believe. We know that in regard to employment scams, the biggest motivator in employment scams is the flexibility to work from home. So if people see that advertised, that's usually, a draw for them. We also see, obviously, higher pay. If the pay is really good, people usually go for it. And I think even when their instincts tell them something is not right, at least what they're reporting to us, I think they want to believe that it's true. So they kind of go forward with it and see, how far they can get and, if it really will be a job offer for them.
Scammers like to prey on emotions as well, so no surprise that romance and friendship would pop on this list as number three.
Right. Romance, and we are calling it friendship scams now. So romance-friendship. And that's because, again, social media, so many people striking up, friendships via social media or contacting through Messenger. And that was the highest median dollar loss reported to us at over $6,000 median loss. Those romance scams, they groom you.
It's interesting. It's not just romance anymore. It's like, hey, you need a buddy. You want a friend. Okay, so romance friendship scams coming at number three. I took note of number four, online purchase scams, because these are very common here in Wisconsin. Why is that?
I could talk about those all day long, Jessica. Online purchase scams, and that was number one for 3 years in a row, by the way. Investment scams have surpassed that now for 2 years in a row. But online purchase scams I am seeing reported in Wisconsin all day, every day. This is obviously where people either jump online and they're looking for an item that they want to buy. Those common popular items are the most popular, like those Stanley cups, all those insulated cups. I like to say sportswear, Green Bay Packer gear, Brewers jerseys, that type of thing. Whatever it may be, people jump online and they see all of these links come up. They click on them. and then they see pictures and they move forward with the purchase. It's either a fake online website or they never get the items. They're coming from China. They're counterfeit. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
So why are people here in Wisconsin falling for this more than people in other states?
That I don't know. I only know that this is what I'm seeing in Wisconsin reported to our BBB Scam Tracker, which I handle for the whole state. But of course, our numbers have to do with all these scams being reported on a national basis. So I think it just depends on, who's reporting and when. I mean, of course, my message is take time to report, please, always. Helps us.
Wisconsinites like a deal. And I've seen those things on social media that popped up where you can get that beautiful new Yeti cooler for, $200 off. Or they might even say, we're looking for 1,500 people across the country to test out our new cooler. And you become part of the marketing team for Yeti. And you get, you know what I mean? And like, no, you don't. You are not working for Yeti. They're not going to send you a cooler. But it catches your attention because it's a brand name you recognize and it's a discounted item or maybe a free item. So it sort of lures you in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Us Wisconsinites, we like a deal. And, if we think we're going to get it at a better cost or maybe free to test something out, we're going to go for it.
And those Yeti coolers, they're expensive.
No, absolutely they are. They're very cool.
Real quickly, I just want to let you know about the final 5 on this list. Coming in at number 5, home improvement scams, 6 phishing scams, 7 advance fee loan scams. Then you've got travel, vacation, those timeshares, yep. Government grant scams coming at number 9, and then 10 is tech support scams. I'm curious as you look at this list as a whole, is there anything you see about this list that makes you think, oh gosh, we've got to worry about this next year? Or also, is there anything on this list that's sliding down over the years that you think, you know what, scammers are moving on to other things and this might fall off at some point soon?
Well, I'll tell you, home improvement scams kind of moved up a little bit. And we know that it's mostly because of people reporting door-to-door offers. So really watch out for that. And I think the fact that it's moving up, we saw this a lot many, many years ago. It comes and it goes on the list of top 10. But the fact that it's moving up, I think, tells me that, we might see it move up again in the future. So watch out for door-to-door. Anybody coming to your door saying, hey, I was in the neighborhood. I happen to see your roof had some damage, that nasty hailstorm. Remember that? Yeah. Or asphalt paving is another big one. They knock on the door and say, your driveway looks awful. I happen to have some leftover material. I was doing some work down the block. They'll point to a house. See your neighbors over there? We did some work over there, So watch out for home improvement scams for sure. Advance fee loans, that moved up a little bit. And I know that has to do with all these text messages we've been hearing about in the last couple of months. And you're shaking your head because you probably know everybody's been reporting that they've been hearing from Jessica about advance fee loans. Actually, the name is Jessica. Yeah. And so, people are getting these messages saying, you applied for a loan or we can offer you a loan. Typically, they've been using the name Jessica in the last 2 to 3 months. So we have been inundated.
I have not gotten that scam, but I have gotten a ton of these other ones, no doubt.
We've been
I'll be on the lookout for that.
With that.
And it's not me texting you if you're getting them.
Yeah. So those were a little bit of some of the, good things to point out.
Also, real quickly, we're running out of time here, but I just wanted you to be able to, you also just released the top 10 most impersonated companies for 2024. What's on the list?
Yeah, a little surprising to me. Publishers Clearinghouse came in at number 1. United States Postal Service came in at number 2, which was number 1 last year. And we know that that's because of all those, phishing scams using the USPS's name, letting you know you have a package or we have to verify your information. Click on this link. PayPal at number 3, Amazon at number 4. That slipped a little bit. Amazon, we saw at number 1 about 2 years ago. Last year, I believe it slipped to number 2. So still very commonly impersonated. Spectrum at number 5. So I guess I expected to see this on the list. I didn't know where it would land because we saw so many phishing scams involving Spectrum's name last year, especially.
Interesting.
Yeah, twice last year, 2 different times in the year. One around October where people were reporting that they were getting offers to save a ton of money through Spectrum if they prepaid for the whole year. And people were responding to this left and right.
Oh, geez.
Prepaying, $500-$600 for the whole year, going, I can get Spectrum cable at a great deal if I pay now. So that was a very, very big scam that we saw reported.
Again, on the hunt for deals. Lisa Schiller, Senior Director of Investigations at the Better Business Bureau. Always good info. Appreciate it, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
It's 11:28 news coming up.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of United States trade and foreign policy. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson on March 11th at 1 p.m. for their informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
James Imaging Systems, local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything, so I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores has been voted the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel's Best in Thrift. So to all who voted for us, thank you. And to those who haven't yet been here, there are so many items to explore. And at thrift store prices, you can find a really great deal. At the same time, you'll be helping us help others, sometimes folks right in your own neighborhood. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Your top story: arrests after a cross-border crash.
I'm Jessica Tighe. No fraud in Wisconsin's elections.
Cloudy, turning to rain. Steady rain this afternoon into the evening. Might hear some thunder with a high of 48. Rain likely tonight, a low of 41. High of 46 with rain likely for your Wednesday. 48 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:32. A developing story. Oconomowoc police need the public to avoid the 100 block of East Wisconsin Avenue near City Hall due to an active investigation. We'll have more details as they become available, but avoid the 100 block of East Wisconsin Avenue in Oconomowoc.
Several arrests made after a two-county chase ends in a crash. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office stopped a vehicle Monday morning on Highway 45 near County Highway C for a man wanted on criminal charges in Illinois. The driver sped off, and a chase continued into Lake County where the car crashed into another car near Illinois Route 173. Authorities arrested the owner of the suspect vehicle, Mason Spencer, on multiple active warrants, and the driver, Raymond Underwood, for felony fleeing and recklessly endangering safety. A third person in that suspect vehicle was detained and later released. The driver of the other vehicle suffered minor injuries. That person was also arrested on outstanding warrants.
The executive director at Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction is stepping down. Sachin Cheda plans to return to political consulting. He's worked in state politics for years, running Governor Evers' campaign for state superintendent in 2013 and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson's campaign in 2022. Cheda says he'll help State Superintendent Jill Underlay's campaign in an informal capacity, but will focus work on issues and not candidates.
As the Wisconsin Elections Commission meets today to certify the results of the spring primary, an audit to the 2024 November election shows no fraud in Wisconsin. Released by WEC, the report shows voting machines and software were not tampered with. President Donald Trump defeated former Vice President Kamala Harris in Wisconsin by a little more than 29,000 votes. The post-election audit is required under state law and has been done after each general election since 2006.
Well, more than 2,000 cheese and dairy product makers are in Green Bay today for the country's largest cheese championship.
Cheesemaker Steve Stetler with Decatur Dairy has been competing in the U.S. Cheese Championship as a master cheesemaker for more than 40 years.
You got to be a licensed cheesemaker for 10 years. You got to do 3 years of grading. So it's about a 13-year window at the earliest.
Stetler says the judging can be intense.
Whether it's a little discrepancy in flavor or, there's some oddball thing that shows up, it's a true competition.
At the Rush Expo Center in Ashwaubenon, Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
All winter, dive teams took hours to get ice chunks out of the way for thousands, freezing for the Special Olympics Wisconsin Polar Plunge. Freezing for a reason.
A special plunge into Little Muskego Lake for a very special cause. This includes the Muskego Public Safety Cadets. The teens raise thousands for those living with disabilities.
Special Olympics is actually close to every single one of us. With working with the police department, we get to work with these guys a lot.
Every dollar raised stays here in Wisconsin to help more than 9,000 athletes in our state. The goal is to raise $1 million.
For our athletes, they know that folks in these communities are coming and stepping up for them.
Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
There are 2 more plunges, one in the Fox Valley and the other in Chippewa Falls. You can learn more at plungewi.org.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 11:35.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks on the road in Atlanta tonight. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. No game for the Brewers today, and today is the deadline for NFL teams to apply the franchise tag to pending free agents.
Let's get an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson and Sons paving time saver traffic. We're doing okay for the most part, certainly in the Milwaukee area, but I do want to let you know in case you are traveling in or headed to Manitowoc County, we do have a closure. I-43 South is closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42 because of a fire. Once again, this is in Manitowoc County. We have a closure. I-43 South is closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42. We've got a fire going on. They've got to get that out so they can get it open.
Rain is on the way. Once it arrives, it's not going to leave for a while. Isolated chance of some thunder tonight as well. Rain into the evening once it begins, somewhere in the afternoon. High of 48, low of 41, up to 46 on Wednesday. It's 48 and cloudy in Milwaukee. I can't imagine it's raining. I can't imagine it's cloudy. It's definitely not 48 in sunny Arizona. We welcome in Brewers Extra Innings host, All Things Brewers, with Dom Catronio live from Brewers Spring Training. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Greg. I mean, I can guarantee you know what that means when it's a Brewers off day. You know where I am.
Golf course is, I imagine. You're on the practice tee right now?
Having mom's cookies?
Exactly right. Exactly right. No, we're doing it big. We're playing one of my favorite munis down here in Phoenix called Aguila, free ad, but really enjoy these off days in spring training.
Oh, so that's lovely.
That is a good, it kind of peek behind the scenes, because when it's an off day, Craig Counsey used to call it a choose your own friends day, because there's nobody around the complex. They take these rare off days truly off.
Well, I tell you what, for position players, yes, true off day. For most relievers, yes, true off day. For starters, and particularly a brand new one that I'm sure we're going to talk about, it is not an off day. It is get to work. There's only 3.5 weeks left to make sure that you're ready. And when it comes to a guy like Jose Quintana and the rest of the starting pitchers, there's a schedule that they got to follow.
Okay, Dom, real quickly, I was not amiss, though. Your family's down there, right? I don't know if you're really eating mom's cookies on your off time, but your family's down there, right?
My mom is a terrible baker, and she would say the same thing. However, our big thing, I mean, we're half Mexican, so, burritos in the morning or just some proper quesadillas. I mean, that's what I grew up with. So I think I've told a few programs down here. It's like, what do you most look forward to when you go back home? It's just Mexican food. It's just great Mexican food that I grew up with.
Yum. And for breakfast, too. Can't beat that.
What about guac, right? Jessica's had her fill of guac here because she spent a couple of days in San Antonio and in Fort Worth. So she rocked out with her guac out. Where do you stand on guacamole?
Guacamole is fantastic. I think San Antonio probably did it a lot better than Dallas did, to be honest. And it's not real guac if you don't got onions in there. Some people are really anti-onions in the guac. You need that little sweet, that little elevated onion in there. It's not a major flavor. Don't be shy with the onions. I think the red onion is a really key ingredient.
Ooh, oh yeah, red onion. I hear that. And if you want to kick some jalapeno. But back to baseball.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, you referenced Jose Quintana, so this is kind of interesting. A couple of days ago, there were some murmurs about this yesterday. I don't know if it's official from the Brewers just yet, but signing Jose Quintana to a one-year deal. This guy is a veteran pitcher who I think one season for the Cubs started against the Brewers like 7 times. Like, you never see that in today's Major League Baseball, but he has pitched against the Brewers. Now he's pitching for the Brewers. What's the strategy here in signing him?
He is a depth signing, but it's a really savvy one. And this is something that, if you want to get deeper into the labor relations of baseball right now, where it's like, how did this guy who posts so many innings, continues to perform well, gives you 150-plus innings every year, make it to the first week of March in free agency? That's just kind of a bigger, broad picture. Like, how did he still become available? With that being said, it's extremely savvy money for the Brewers, because now you look at their primary 5 options for their starting rotation, right? All 5 of them, if things go according to plan, knock on wood. You always need depth, but all 5 of them you could easily see throwing more than 150 innings this season. I mean, you've got Freddie Peralta at the top line. He has been posting the last couple of seasons. Nestor Cortez Jr. is coming off of a really great season despite what happened in the World Series. You've got Aaron Savali, who posted a career-high in innings last season. And then furthermore, you now add Quintana. Woodruff gets to take some time to make sure that he's ready to go and doesn't have to be back instantly. And then Tobias Myers, after an incredible rookie year where he had 130 innings last year, I could easily see him get back up to 150.
And what's the latest on Aaron Ashby for some people who might have missed it?
Yeah, yesterday he exited the game in the second inning with an oblique strain, in the words of Pat Murphy. He is actually back at the complex and at the doctor's office today getting some imaging done. No media availability, obviously, today, so we will find out tomorrow what the extent of that injury for Ashby. And, man, you feel for the kid, right? We had him on all air last week in a podcast form over on Brewers All Access, wherever you get your podcasts, and just talking about the extension that he had signed and the time that he had signed it. And really, it seems like since he put pen to paper, everything has gone wrong with his health. And this is kind of the tale of two ends of the sword where, you have a team-friendly, per se, extension like the one that Freddie Peralta signed, where it turns into something great. He's an all-star, incredible pitcher. And then you have the other side of that sword with Aaron Ashby, and it's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. But you sign that deal hoping that you can replicate that success with Freddie, but sometimes health just doesn't work in your favor, and it helps the player's investment of like, well, at least I got my first small fortune, and I'm able to take care of my family and that sort of thing. But when it comes to the unfortunate fact is I think the total since he signed that deal is something like 60 big league innings, and that was signed in 2022. So I really feel for him. I hope this isn't a long-term deal for him.
Dom Cotroneo joining us from Brewers Spring Training. Off day for the Brewers today. Dom, as we get closer to opening day, how many position battles are really up for grabs? I mean, you could start looking at the roster and pick out most starters, I think, but how many people are really fighting it out for a roster spot?
I really look at third base. We know the candidates there with Caleb Durbin and Oliver Dunn and Andrew Monasterio and Vinny Capra. That bench spot, too, that fourth bench spot is going to be very interesting when it comes to, is Mark Canha going to make the team? Is Capra going to make the team as the backup infielder or that sort of thing? Those are the main two spots I'm looking at. I mean, catcher is William. First base is Reese. Second base, I imagine, is Terang at this point. I would be shocked if they keep Terang at short. Ortiz would move to short, in my opinion. We mentioned that battle at third. The outfield is pretty set, even with Blake Perkins' injury last week. He'll be back at the end of April at this rate, but you've got Yelly or Churio in left, Mitchell or Sal in center, and then probably Sal in right. It's really not a lot to figure out, and maybe a bullpen spot or two as well. But third base is taking the headlines right now.
I was kind of curious, as far as the players down there right now, I mean, this is the first season now without Uke. Are they talking about that amongst themselves, or is it, we're sad and right now it's back to business and we're carrying on?
Yeah, I think it's mostly the latter there, Jess. I think it'll really hit on opening day. I know we all talked about all the plans for opening day yesterday and seeing the signature when I first came down here and seeing what they're going to do with the grass down at American Family Field is going to be really exciting too. But, I know you guys have talked about it too. And we caught up with Willie Adames on Friday after the game because the Brewers played the Giants and it was the first time seeing him in black and orange. And just talking to him, I asked him, I'm sorry to change the subject, but I got to ask you about Uke. And we both were crying by the end of his answer. I mean, it was really sentimental to know that a guy like Willie, who only spent, 3+ almost 4 seasons in Milwaukee, understood the impact that Bob had. And I'm going to miss their signature handshake with each other, the paratrooper thing that they used to do, man. These guys get it. And I think that's the impact that Bob's always going to have, is that these guys are going to come up and have stories with each other. And I think of like Moustakas in 2018, his celebrations with Uke, and Moose just retired, and we'll catch up with him at some point too. So these guys get it, and we're all going to miss him dearly.
All right, Dom, are you playing the Aguila 18 or the Encanto 18? Which one are you playing today?
I'm playing Aguila 18. Only one L, so you pronounce the L. If it's 2 L's, that's when it's silent.
Okay, good to know.
Aguila 18, they've done a bunch of money into the city of Phoenix. Has done a great job with Aguila. Can't recommend it enough. I also played a little splurge round yesterday, Greg. Played Southern Dunes down in Maricopa. Oof, really recommend that place.
Okay, good to know. We'll keep it in the fairway. We'll check in next week. Let us know your score and what course you might be headed out to next.
Not a cloud in the sky, guys. Don't be jealous. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Appreciate it, Dom. Dom Cotroneo from Brewers Spring Training. It's 11:47 on WTMJ.
Do you have a written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move allows us to provide more comprehensive wealth management services to help with all aspects of your finances, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. At Creative Planning, we understand life is busy, and sometimes important things like retirement planning can fall to the wayside. So I'm here to remind you to take time to plan. A 1-hour complimentary consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. We will review your current financial situation, your goals and needs, and help you plan for life's what-ifs. Don't delay planning for your future any longer. And even if you already have a plan, a second opinion from our advisors can help determine if there are adjustments to make. Kowal Investment Group is now Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here, reminding you to not let that busted garage door get you down. You give the folks at Geis a call today. If you have any issues with your garage, they will come out and fix it. They've done it for us. They'll do it for you. They can also take you down the path of a new opener or a new door. It's really what they specialize in, but really anything to do with the maintenance of your garage door, the system. You go to Geis. Brands like CHI and LiftMaster right there in stock. They've got doors for every budget. They'll even go the custom route for you. Whatever it takes to meet your exact needs, you can count on Geis. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, visit GeisDoors.com. You can also check out their showroom in Brookfield. It's right off Barker Road. I've been there before. Could not believe how many doors and openers they had in stock, ready for you. That could mean a very quick turnaround time for your project. Check them out. Hundreds of doors and openers in that custom design room as well. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those, and huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Cloudy now, rain on the way. It's going to be a wet afternoon and evening. We'll top out about 48 degrees, but once it starts raining, it's not going to go away anytime soon. Overnight low in the upper 30s. Rain likely tomorrow with a high of 48 degrees. Might even see some snowflakes early on. It is 48 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:52. Well, before the Lenten fast, there's a feast. That feast involves pastry so good it deserves its own day. Welcome to National Punchki Day, at least here in Wisconsin.
What's round, filled with deliciousness, and the star of Fat Tuesday? If you said punchki, you're right. This Polish pastry packs a punch of tasty goodness that's been around for a while.
Tradition has it that the day before Lent in Poland, all the households would gather up all their milk and eggs and butter and sugar, and they came up with this great Polish pastry called a punchki because they knew they were going to fast for Lent starting the next day.
National Bakery's co-owner Jeff Callan says it's not just another jelly donut.
Well, a punchki is a little bit richer dough that's used, and it's a little bit more dense and chewy than a regular jelly donut. On punchki, that's the only time of the year where we use all butter dough, which makes it really good when we mix in the different flavors with it.
And even though it started as a way to get rid of all that lavish stuff in the pantry, it's grown into something else.
Originally, it was heavily the Polish community, but with everything going on with Fat Tuesday and Punchki Day being so popular that we get people from really all over the state who come here for Punchki Day.
And what flavors can we look forward to? Well, National Bakery sticks to the basics.
We stick to the traditional flavors, raspberry, prune, and we have a raisin glaze. And each year we kind of add a new one where we do about 10% of, and this year it's going to be lemon with lemon icing on top.
So forget the gym, cancel your personal trainer appointments, and prepare for a sugar-fueled frenzy. It's Punchki time. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
All right, so I had the lemon with lemon icing one today. I typically don't like lemony desserts.
I don't really do that either.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was very good. Very fresh. National Bakery dropped off some for us today here at the studio. They had some raspberries, some raisin.
I had a raspberry.
Nice assortment.
It was good, yeah. And I love the jelly. Some people are like, don't like the jelly. Love, love, love the jelly. Got to have the jelly. Can I just for a moment, I just went to take a peek at Bourbon Street right now on one of the live Earth cams.
Oh, yeah. Fat Tuesday.
Right? It is 75 degrees in New Orleans right now. Yes, as they celebrate Fat Tuesday here. And it is just so fun to take a live look at all the people out there. I just saw moments ago, there was like a 70-year-old man just wearing a bunch of beads, holding one of those long containers that you get a
it's
Long
like a yard,
Island.
right?
Yes,
you drink,
yes.
yeah. They put a little hand grenade on the top of it, a little.
There was like a Long
plastic
Island
grenade.
iced tea on there, and he was just kind of like hobbling down the road.
Yeah.
And he was there with his wife, and they're in matching shirts. And this is just, I feel like this is just what Mardi Gras is all about, right? There's people of all kinds of people in costumes. There's also a live camera from Cat's Meow. It's inside the karaoke bar. And you can see this one woman who's just, there's nobody there yet, nobody inside yet, but she is just getting everything ready for all those people who are going to be there later today. But the street's already packed.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's very different during the Mardi Gras season during the day than it is at night. At night, it's just different. I feel like it's most festive during the day. You want to be out now on Bourbon Street walking around.
Oh, it's so fun. You get all the decorations, the purple, the yellow, the green, so many fun costumes and sparkly boots and furry boots and the young and old.
They had some nasty weather down there, too. They had to move some of the parades. They had to go off a little earlier than anticipated. So, but nothing will damage the spirit of those who like to celebrate during this time of year in New Orleans. That's for sure. 11:56 on WTMJ. We've got news coming up in just a few.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
A last-minute request now to delay SROs from entering NPS has been submitted by the Milwaukee City Attorney, Evan Goyke.
Eric Billstad.
Milwaukee's former city attorney, Tierman Spencer, is accused of using his position for personal gain in a property dispute. He's now pleading not guilty.
And traffic with Debbie Loziga.
Volume's starting to pick up a little bit, especially through the stadium interchange.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. Want to get you down to Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you've not checked it out, hey, no better time than now to stop down to Potawatomi Sportsbook and see what I've experienced here over the last year or so since they opened up and they debuted. And we know what is coming. Basketball is really going to be heating up, and you can watch the players chase the ultimate trophy. It is tournament time at Potawatomi. You want to watch the magic happen? You do it at Potawatomi Sportsbook. No better place to watch sports in the state. And with multiple games on throughout the course of the day, you know what's coming, right? Why would you go anywhere else? That 2,000 square foot video wall will have the games on for you. Also, great food. They've got a full service bar, VIP deck, and more. It really is a paradise. Check it out. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Tune in this week from 1 to 3 p.m. for your chance to win 2 tickets to experience Magic's legendary duo, Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller coming to the Riverside Theater March 27th. Tickets on sale now at papstheatergroup.com.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets. Tune in to Spanning the State this week from 1 to 3 p.m.
Penn and Teller, they continue to defy labels and at times physics and good taste. They've invented their own very distinct niche in comedy.
Penn and Teller coming to the Riverside Theater March 27th.
Fleet Farm's bucket sale is back. You know the drill. Pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside, including clearance. That's right. Any qualifying items you can fit in the bucket are 15% off. So come on in and load up on savings during Fleet Farm's bucket sale, now through March 5th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. The Bucks are swooping into Atlanta to take on the Hawks.
Giannis going downhill, goes right past Brown and sends it down the facial. Served up from the Greek Freak.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Your top story, avoiding City Hall in Oconomowoc.
I'm Jessica Tighe, temporarily stopping aid to Ukraine.
Rain is on the way. When it arrives, it's not going to go away anytime soon. Throughout the course of the afternoon and evening when it starts, expect a high of about 48 degrees today, overnight low of 41, up to 46 with cloudy skies. Rain in the morning on Wednesday. It's 48 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01 from a WTMJ breaking newsroom. A developing story, Oconomowoc police asking the public to avoid the East Wisconsin Avenue from Walnut to Main Street near City Hall due to an ongoing and active investigation. We'll provide more details as they become available.
10 ayes, 4 noes. 10 ayes, 4 no. The file passes.
This morning, the Milwaukee Common Council approved the agreement for school resource officers with MPS. It requires funding for 25 school resource officers in the district. Only 4 alders voted against the measure. The agreement includes splitting the cost for the SROs 50-50 between MPS and the city. It also requires the city and MPS to provide 40 hours of training and a list of which officers are assigned to which schools in the district by March 15th.
While the Common Council was voting on SROs at MPS, Mayor Cavalier Johnson was here at WTMJ telling the upswing he'll support the district and new Superintendent Brenda Casilius.
Better educational outcomes are good for them. They're good for our city. They're good for our economy. They're good for public safety. They're just good for Milwaukee. And that, therefore, then is good for the state of Wisconsin. So we have a lot of work to do.
The MPS board will meet tonight to discuss the SRO situation and the hiring of Casilius as superintendent.
Ahead of his address to a joint session of Congress tonight, President Donald Trump puts all U.S. military aid to Ukraine on hold. The move follows the explosive Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky meeting in Washington on Friday. ABC's Karen Travers.
Right now, U.S. aid to Ukraine will be temporarily put on pause as these conversations continue to play out. It's important to note that the overwhelming majority of the aid that was promised during the Biden administration has already gotten to Ukraine, but there are still some things in the pipeline that could be held up right now. If there is a delay, whether that's weeks or months of this aid not getting to Ukraine, there could be a real impact on the battlefield.
President Zelensky posted on X earlier today that Ukraine is, quote, ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. He went on to say, my team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts.
Canada's prime minister launching a blistering attack on the U.S. tariffs and the man behind them.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau moving to impose retaliatory tariffs on more than $100 billion worth of American-made goods, and also exploring what he referred to as non-tariff measures.
Measures which will demonstrate that there are no winners in a trade war.
Trudeau accusing President Trump of deliberately trying to collapse Canada's economy to make it easier to follow through on his threat to make Canada the 51st state. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still a bloodbath out there. The Dow is down about 610 points at 42,580. NASDAQ off 111. That's actually an improvement from earlier today at 18,245. S&P 500 off about 65 at 5782. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of United States trade and foreign policy. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson on March 11th at 1 p.m. for their informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Brew City is ready to celebrate the draft's return to Wisconsin. Milwaukee Tailgate Week presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, April 24th through the 26th. It features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, its attractions, brews, pubs, restaurants, and venues. The festivities culminate on Saturday, April 26th with Jordy Nelson's Milwaukee Tailgate with Inside the Huddle Live. Buy your tickets now for only $10 and learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Bucs' 2-game road trip wraps up tonight in Atlanta against the Hawks. Head coach Doc Rivers thinks his team is rounding into form at the right time.
We're coming together as a team, and we're just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. Brewers pitcher Aaron Ashby having imaging done today on an oblique injury that forced him out of last night's game against the Reds. And today is the deadline for NFL teams to apply the franchise tag to pending free agents. Minnesota Vikings are not expected to use the tag on quarterback Sam Darnold.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Our issue today is up in Manitowoc County. We have a closure. I-43 South is closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42 because of a fire. Once again, heads up if you're headed to Manitowoc County or you're driving through it right now. I-43 South closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42 because of a fire. We don't have any cameras in that area, so I can't tell you how bad it is, but this happened around 10:34, and that area is still closed right now.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive professional servers and bartenders. You'll make great cash. Inquire today. Start next week. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Rain is on the way. Steady rain this afternoon into the evening. Chance of some thunder as well. A high of 48 degrees. That rain will continue tonight with a low of 41. Might see some flurries tomorrow. Otherwise, rain early. Could be a little slushy at times. Windy. Kind of a nasty day with a high of 46. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, highs top out in the mid to upper 30s. Should be a pretty good spattering of sunshine, however. It is 46 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Hour number 2, it's Wisconsin's Midday News. Jessica's back after a few days off. We thank Adam Roberts for stepping in. Great to have the band back together. Gina producing the show as usual. And a reminder, subscribe to the podcast page, the Wisconsin Midday News podcast page. It's built by Siding Unlimited. Gina does a great job uploading our segments and full shows. I'm sure you were following along, Jessica, wherever you get your podcasts while you were out in Texas.
You might be joking, but I have a hard time letting work go. So sometimes I just pop in, I check my email. Gosh, stop checking your email so many times. It's a vacation day.
So that's a very interesting point. So I do the same thing. I try and sift through email at least once a day when I'm on vacation.
You get so many.
Not at lunch, but just, at night the kids have gone to bed and we're totally wound down because I don't want 750 emails when I come back to sort through. I'd rather just bloop, 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 delete and file accordingly, maybe a quick response.
Bloop, 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 beep, beep, beep.
Once
delete,
a day. That helps. Right. It's a lot of deleting going on during that time.
Hey, we also have to say happy birthday to Greg Matzek. He is one day more mature today.
Well, something like that, yes. I shout out to my kids. So every year my daughters have gotten together with my wife, and they've made a bizarre sort of cake for me. A few years ago, it was a pickle.
A pickle?
Then it was a banana and a goat and a pig. This year was a chicken.
I like the chicken. He showed me a picture. It's cute. Very cute.
Their favorite show on Netflix is It Cake, where these incredible bakers make any sort of household item. It could be a boot. It could be a backpack. It could be anything. It could be a fire hose.
And it really looks like a boot.
It's unbelievable what they do. So the kids, according to my wife, were hustling around the kitchen, spilling stuff, and then having conversations like they were on the show while making my chicken cake.
But this is really a cake.
Yeah.
Not a chicken.
It was
but a legit cake.
Real cake, no chicken, and it doesn't produce eggs, which is somewhat disappointing.
Well, shoot.
Some big stories that we're following here this afternoon. It's 12:11.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
President Donald Trump delivers a speech before a joint session of Congress tonight, his first since returning to office. This is similar to a State of the Union address. The president is expected to lay out his vision for the nation. Elon Musk will return to Capitol Hill for the speech tonight. The Doge leader recently attended Trump's first cabinet meeting. We also know now who will join the First Lady as guests. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers with those details.
President Trump will continue a tradition by having guests join the First Lady tonight for his speech to the joint session of Congress. Presidents typically invite Americans who've been impacted by their policies or personify issues they want to highlight. Joining Melania Trump will be Mark Fogel, an American who was recently freed from a Russian prison, the family of Corey Comparator, who was shot and killed at the president's campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last summer, and the
mother and sister of Laken Riley, the 22-year-old nursing student who was killed by an undocumented migrant. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
When I think about the firefighter who was shot and killed, his family being there, I immediately went to the RNC here in Milwaukee because that's when they rolled out his uniform, and it was just kind of a somber moment for everybody knowing that this man lost his life there at the rally. By the way, you can watch that speech at 8 p.m. our time tonight.
Well, the president's address comes on the heels of new tariffs on nearly all goods from Mexico, Canada, and China. Tariffs expected to drive up prices on everything from fresh produce to vehicles and gas. ABC business correspondent Elizabeth Schulze.
About 60% of the crude oil that the U.S. imports comes from Canada. Our refineries are actually uniquely built to process Canadian oil. The national average right now for a gallon of gas about $3. Gas Buddy expects that the tariffs mean prices could go up by 15 cents a gallon in the Midwest, as much as 40 cents a gallon within a week in the Northeast.
Average price for a gallon of gas in Wisconsin right now is about $2.90, $2.77 here in Milwaukee. So it's been pretty steadily below the $3 mark. But the frustration is you've got the goods and services, the cost of doing business at the grocery store is going to continue to go up. Meanwhile, the markets are also not favorably reacting to this, down considerably over the last week or so. Big losses yesterday, kind of continuing that trend today. So prices going up, markets, unfortunately, right now going down.
Yeah, and we'll get, coming up in just a few minutes here, we'll talk with ABC's Caleb Silver. He'll talk about the market reaction to the tariffs. Also today, rain is on the way. You know the song, Rain, Rain, Go Away? Nope, it's on the way.
It's coming.
Yep. Steady rain is expected in much of southeastern Wisconsin by mid-afternoon and through the evening. Few rumbles of thunder are possible as well, so don't let that catch you off guard. Meanwhile, severe storms moving in from the west coincide with the biggest day of the year down in Louisiana.
Mardi Gras has been celebrated in New Orleans for over 300 years, and Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick recognizes that.
Carnival is a very important cultural event for our city, and so if I can accommodate and do it safely, I am going to try.
The result? Two of the most popular Mardi Gras parades, Zulu and Rex, stepped off just before sunrise today. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
It's not stopping people from being out. I was saying just about 15 minutes ago, I was checking out the Earth Cam down in New Orleans, and people are out. They are having fun, but I did notice some of the signs and some of the banners, all the green, the yellow, the purple decorations, they were waving in the wind. Also, further east, a massive wildfire is burning for a fourth straight day in the Carolina forest. The South Carolina Forestry Commission says the fire is more than 2,000 acres in size and 30% contained at this point. State officials say this wildfire is believed to be human-caused.
Shout out to Peter on our text line. He sent me a screen grab of the radar, and there is a massive storm approaching New Orleans, Louisiana. In fact, it isolated on what was sent to me is an area that has the greatest supercell tornado threat, and it's just in the outside of New Orleans. So it potentially dangerous and wet situation as Mardi Gras kicks off today. So get your celebrating in and make sure you're safe and indoors at some point. It's going to get nasty down there.
There are a lot of people walking around right now. And in fact, right as you were saying that, there was a man walking by with a purple, yellow, and green decorated umbrella. But it looked more like a decoration. That one's not going to cut it when the rain starts.
No, that'll be inside out before too long. Be cautious of that. 12:15 on WTMJ. Want to check in with Caleb Silver. He's an investment guy, understands how the markets work and how they react when things happen in our country or around the world. And the market has not reacted favorably to the tariffs. When could we see a turnaround? We'll check in with him after this.
Well, the Hawks have struggled to find their footing.
That's inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Instead of playing in the playoffs, they'll just be looking.
You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
The Bucks head to Atlanta to take on the Hawks.
He'll kick it out left wing. Catch and shoot three. Gary Trent Jr. zeroes in again. He drills another three.
Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 6. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here at Gruber Law Offices. You know the name. You know David. You've seen him on TV. Probably seen him at a game or two. They support the community. They've been doing it for 40 years and getting results for those hurt in accidents. If you've been hurt, you make a call to Gruber, and they really handle the legal aspect while you focus on healing. It's Gruber-Law.com. Gruber-law.com. If you've been hurt in an accident, they are locally known but nationally recognized. It's Gruber Law Offices, 414-276-6666.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Workwear event is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality workwear styles at unbeatable prices. Like 30% off men's work and sports sweatshirts. Save $100 on select men's Keen utility work boots. $59.99 while supplies last. New at Blaine's, men's brunt workwear apparel 25% off. Plus, earn $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 spent on Carhartt gear. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Well, dry right now. It's going to be wet this afternoon and evening. Rain likely. It's going to be steady, and you might even hear some rumbles of thunder. High of 48, overnight low of 41. Rain continues. Maybe some snowflakes, maybe a little bit of slush tomorrow. It's going to be kind of a nasty Wednesday with a high of 46. Probably won't feel like it, however. Temperatures in the upper 30s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Going to see plenty of sun, however. It is 47 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:18. Oh, grocery prices are up, stocks are tumbling. Not exactly my favorite combination, but that's where we are today. U.S. stocks continuing to tumble after a significant drop yesterday, wiping out much of the gains since President Trump's election in November. The tariffs that were once paused for Mexico and Canada are back on, and the stocks are reacting accordingly. We wanted to welcome in Caleb Silver, ABC News contributor, editor-in-chief of Investopedia. Hi, Caleb.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, I don't think that tariffs ever really result in the markets reacting favorably, at least not on a continual basis here. But will there be short-term pain and ultimately long-term gain as you look at the outlook?
Well, that's how the president would like us to think about it, but tariffs are inflationary, full stop. They just cause a rise in prices. Businesses pass those prices on to consumers. Eventually, we pull back on spending. We're already seeing that. We saw a pullback in spending in the last month just because of the threat of tariffs, and now that they're in force, especially on the things that we have to buy, like produce at the grocery store, we're going to feel those, and it's going to cause an economic slowdown. It's not just consumers. It's businesses that can't plan on the future. They don't know how much inventory to hold. They don't know how much things are going to cost in the future. So uncertainty breeds a pullback in spending, but it also breeds a lack of confidence in the stock market.
How are Canada, Mexico, and China responding?
With tariffs of their own. Canada announcing a staggered tariffs beginning with $30 billion now, going up to potentially $125 million over the next couple of months. Mexico saying they'll put retaliatory tariffs in place as of this Sunday, and China announcing tariffs across 15 different companies spanning different industries from biotech to agriculture. So retaliatory tariffs are the next step. We've already seen those happen. And then we see increased tariffs potentially in April, the Trump administration threatening tariffs on semiconductors, more automobiles, timber, pharmaceuticals. And this just leads to higher prices and an economic slowdown, not just here in the U.S., but across the globe.
So historically, Caleb, what does it take for the markets to sort of level off so you don't have these significant drops?
Once we get a sense of what pricing really looks like across industries. So let's say you're an auto manufacturer, and like in the case of Ford gets a lot of its materials from Canada and a lot of its assembled cars from Mexico. Once they have a sense of what pricing is and what we can predict as consumers, we get a sense of how much spending is going to drop because of these tariffs. It takes a while. So the president has already said there's going to be short-term pain. Well, we don't know how long that's going to last, but we're going to start to feel prices increasing already, probably immediately as soon as this week at the grocery store. And then over the next several months, as we get into the summer, you're going to feel higher prices across the board.
Caleb, are you looking at the VIX, Wall Street's fear gauge? Some people might not be familiar with it, but where does it sit this morning?
Yeah, it's screaming like a toddler in a toy store when it's time to go home. The VIX is the volatility index. It measures volatility in the market as measured by the options market. How many people are betting on a market decline? The VIX has been elevated for the past month or so, and when the VIX is up, stocks are down. It's really that simple. Also, we've seen a big surge in the uncertainty index, where a lot of people can't, again, the economic reports that are coming in are just not matching expectations. That's a surprise index. That has been falling lately as well. That is causing a lack of confidence across the stock market. We're seeing another big sell-off to start the day today, and this has sort of been the drumbeat for the past couple of weeks.
Just thinking about some of the goods and services, namely from Mexico, avocados, limes, things along that line. Is it reasonable to think that the production, the sourcing of avocados and limes could happen at a greater level in the United States in time, or are we not equipped to handle that?
Well, California does produce some beautiful avocados. The Hass avocados are world famous, but it's, again, a question of supply and demand. So there's a lot of demand for these products that we buy on the regular. Not everybody buys avocados every single day, but we always buy produce. A lot of our produce is sourced from Mexico, and a lot of our frozen potatoes come in from Canada, but so does a lot of timber. So does a lot of natural gas. So does a lot of refined and crude petroleum that goes into gasoline. So wherever you kind of look, and not just the things we want, but the things we need to buy, a lot of these are going to have tariff duties imposed on them. And again, that just means higher prices, which means consumers will eventually tap out in spending.
I ate a lot of guacamole over the weekend anticipating this, and that is not a joke. 2 days in a row in San Antonio. But seriously here, I'm wondering how these import taxes compare to others in history.
Yeah, so during Trump's first term, he imposed tariffs, so we all know that, over $300 billion towards China, and also mandated a lot of manufacturing here in the U.S. It worked, but it took several years for that to happen. So you don't just flip a switch and have companies all of a sudden reshore and start manufacturing here in the U.S. when they've been outsourcing from Canada, Mexico, China, and other countries for the past 10 years. It takes time. It can happen. It just takes time. But during that time, the economy slows precipitously. And when you get a slowdown in the economy, especially in spending, which drives 70% of our GDP, that really puts a crimp, not just in economic growth, but in confidence to spend more, to make big purchases, to buy homes. It also makes the interest rates remain elevated because prices are high. The Federal Reserve has to keep rates high in order to control inflation.
Yeah, it takes time, but Wall Street doesn't take time, right? Wall Street reacts very quickly. It's very volatile.
Big investors like to sell first and ask questions later, and that's kind of what we've seen over the past couple of weeks. When there's uncertainty, it's like kryptonite for big investors. They just start selling. Now, for those of us individual investors with 401ks and IRAs watching this happen, feels like a meltdown. We're only 5% down from record highs. I know it's scary. This is not the time to sell out. This is the time to wait and see how things play out, and then you can make a decision about how you want to allocate your money. But not a time to panic for individual investors, but you see a lot of volatility in the broader stock market. That's the big institutions buying and selling stocks looking for a bottom here.
You just mentioned how far we are off from the record high. Is the Trump bump gone now? Are all those gains erased?
Yeah, all those gains are erased from Election Day. Pretty big surge in the stock market, especially in the riskiest parts of the stock market. And the stock market had been propped up by about 10 companies, and we all know who they are. They're the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, and others. All those stocks are in a deep correction right now. You're seeing other parts of the market sort of rotate higher. Those are the consumer staples and the utilities, the things, again, we need and that we spend money on no matter what. That's sort of been the safest part of the stock market right now, but there's really been no safety. It's been a sea of red for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, NVIDIA took a big hit yesterday with Trump's announcement of a Taiwanese chip maker. They had made a deal with the United States, and might you see some chip-making manufacturers popping up in Arizona before too long. Really interesting stuff to watch. It's ABC's Caleb Silver. Caleb, we appreciate your time. Thanks for the insight.
Thanks, Caleb.
My pleasure.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ansay.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Oh, looking forward to the weather warming up a little bit and maybe spending a Sunday family day at the Hounds and Tap, food truck, grab a nice drink, watch a game, hang out with the dog. It really is a unique place. No place like it. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, 12,000 square foot facility designed for dogs. Humans going to have a lot of fun, too, at that outdoor bar, which is also an indoor bar, too. It just depends on the day. Make it an indoor-outdoor thing. If you want, bring your pup, have a great time. Also, if you are in the need for doggy daycare, boarding, or grooming services, take advantage of the Hounds and Tap and their full line of offerings. We take our Greyhound there routinely for a nail trim. We don't want to do it. I don't think he wants us to do it. The folks at the Hounds and Tap are gentle. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. They trim the nails once every few weeks or so. He's happy. He's ready to go. He loves it. We always get him a treat as well. They've got bingo, fundraisers, all sorts of good things happening. Check out the Facebook page, too. They do a great job at the Hounds and Tap posting pictures of dogs who are there for daycare or boarding. It really is like a daycare system. You will see what your dog is going through on a given day. It's a fantastic place run by fantastic people. No place like it. It's the Hounds and Tap, where every day is a play day.
How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
And now, about your house. It's your house, and it's your yard, and all your stuff and your people and their stuff are there. You only leave it for vacations. Short vacations, right? Here's some insight from my friend Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited.
You're on a vacation and absolutely loving your short-term hangout. The pool, the patio, the outdoor bar, the fire pit, the lights, the music, everything. This is a good life. However, it's exactly what a vacation is, short-term. 1 week and you're headed back home, only to hope you can hit repeat 51 weeks later. Outdoor Living Unlimited is the company to recreate that amazing vacation feel in your very own backyard so you can experience that vacation all year. Outdoor Living Unlimited uses your vacation ideas as well as any other pictures, videos, thoughts, and stories you can share to produce a design that will fit your backyard, your lifestyle, and your dreams. Still need ideas? Go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page for even more ideas, pictures, and videos. It's as easy as a phone call to start, and Outdoor Living Unlimited can begin putting together a design that starts with the deck and leads to an outdoor kitchen and fire pit. Let us add a screen room with a heating element so you can enjoy Wisconsin's outdoors longer. You can still plan that 1 week vacation. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build your favorite 51-week destination.
At Outdoor Living Unlimited, the concept is staycation. A great new deck, a patio leading to your in-ground pool with the outdoor kitchen along the way. Sit in the shade of the automated pergola. No bags to pack, no airport, and it's always there for you. See Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page or see it all displayed for you inside at Outdoor Living Unlimited's Outside In showroom in Waukesha. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Your top story, charges filed against a former police officer.
I'm Jessica Tighe. What makes an award-winning cheese?
It's got to be Gouda. A lot of rain today, steady rain in the afternoon and into the evening hours. Isolated thunder possible and a high of 48. Rain likely tonight, a low of 41. Might see a little mix tomorrow. Rain, maybe some flurries, possibly some slush. Kind of a nasty day and a high of 46. 48 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:31 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom. A former police officer faces charges for recording underage girls. 41-year-old Fernando Bustos of Greendale faces one felony count of invasion of privacy with a surveillance device of victims under the age of 18. He was a security coordinator with Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where officers say he recorded nearly 380 videos of girls changing between May of 2024 and February of this year. Bustos previously served as a Greenfield police officer.
A developing story right now in Oconomowoc.
City of Oconomowoc is requesting mutual aid for a 1037 high priority call at their City Hall off of Wisconsin.
Oconomowoc police need the public to avoid Wisconsin Avenue from Walnut to Main Street near City Hall due to an active investigation. They haven't revealed what exactly they're investigating yet, but it appears to be centered inside the City Hall building. Meanwhile, we're also following a separate police incident in Sheboygan. Our partners at TMJ4 report the police bomb squad has been deployed to the area of 14th and New York Avenue. Yellow tape is up at that intersection. We'll have more details on both incidents as they become available.
And new developments in a Waukesha death investigation.
17-year-old Nikita Kassup was arrested in Kansas on Friday. He's now in custody on felony theft charges after allegedly stealing his stepfather's car and gun. On Friday morning, the teenager's mother, Tatiana Kassup, and stepfather, Donald Mayer, were found dead in their village of Waukesha home. Kansas police found a firearm, spent shell casings, ammunition, and driver's licenses belonging to the teenager's parents during a traffic stop. The family dog was also with him. Location data shows Kassup's cell phone leaving Waukesha on February 24th and traveling through multiple states before his arrest in Kansas. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The executive director at Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction is stepping down. Sachin Cheda plans to return to political consulting. He's worked in state politics for years, running Governor Tony Evers' campaign for state superintendent in 2013 and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson's campaign in 2022. Cheda says he'll help State Superintendent Jill Underley's campaign in an informal capacity, but will focus his work on issues, not candidates.
Time to get your cheese on. Judges are testing more than 100 cheeses at the U.S. Cheese Championship. It's a contest happening in Ashwaubenon. It's important to get the best cheese samples. That's right. Judge Stephen Shinkowski tells WTMJ.
What you're trying to do is get a core sample down to the center of the block, because a lot of times you'll find that if there's uneven cooling, if it didn't get cooled fast enough, the center of the cheese will be different than the surface of the cheese.
Yeah, no surprise here, but the judge says the best part of judging is eating the competition.
Sounds so good. Well, it wouldn't be opening day without a nod to Bob Uecker. President of Business Operations for the Milwaukee Brewers tells WTMJ what you can expect on the 31st.
What we'll do is obviously have a moment of silence to reflect on his life. We'll have the team wearing the Bob Uecker plaid patch. That'll be all season long. We will have Bob's signature in the grass behind home plate.
A larger celebration of life is in works to honor Uecker in August.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, Accunet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I need information about siding, I call Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
I'm Scott Klein. If you're tired of painting or your siding is beyond repair, it may be time to look at the advantages of a new siding system. Additional insulation, along with Tyvek's weatherization system, can significantly improve your home's energy efficiency while protecting it from water and air infiltration. We offer a variety of siding products, all installed by J&B's certified employees, which will provide decades of performance and beauty.
For a complimentary siding evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks wrap up a 2-game road trip tonight in Atlanta against the Hawks. You can hear the game right here on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. Brewers pitcher Aaron Ashby having imaging done today on an oblique injury that forced him out of last night's game against the Reds. And today is the deadline for NFL teams to apply the franchise tag to pending free agents. The New York Jets, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, are releasing wide receiver Devontae Adams, making him a free agent.
Let's get you an update right now on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. It's been pretty good late this morning and early this afternoon. In fact, no serious incidents around the Milwaukee area. If we travel up to Manitowoc County, we are still dealing with a closure there. So I want to let you know about this one. It happened around 10:30, but it's still closed. I-43 South is closed right now from County XX to Wisconsin 42, and that's because of a fire. So heads up if you're traveling through Manitowoc County right now or you're headed that way, I-43 South is closed from County XX to Wisconsin 42 because of a fire. Other than that, we're looking good. I don't know if we're going to be looking good later on today when we have that heavy rain coming down and later this evening. But right now, fingers crossed, it stays this way for a while.
Yeah, the rain is coming. Once it starts, it's not going to stop for quite some time. Throughout the evening, you can expect steady rain and maybe some rumbles of thunder. High of 48 degrees, overnight low of 41, up to 46 on Wednesday. Rain and maybe some flurries. Could be a little slushy as well and windy. Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 38. Friday's high 39, Saturday's high 38 degrees. It is 47 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:38.
It's Tech Tuesday with ABC News technology reporter Mike Dubusky.
We're not sure if he will be a judge in the upcoming AI beauty pageant, but he is our guest every Tuesday on Tech Tuesday.
The latest and greatest in the world of tech.
Tesla's next product, they call it a robo-taxi. These are AR glasses. They're called simply the Frame.
On Wisconsin's Midday News.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo.
Time for Tech Tuesday on a Tuesday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News, our weekly check-in with ABC tech expert. It's Mike Dubusky. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Well, it's Fat Tuesday here, but a big week in Barcelona, Spain. This time every year, around this time, the Mobile World Congress. Walk us through it. Mike, how big a deal is this?
This is a pretty big deal for the global smartphone market. Generally speaking, people look to Mobile World Congress as a clue into where our smartphones are going to go in the next few years. This is a place for smartphone manufacturers to show off some new devices as well as some proof of concept devices, some flights of fancy, basically just throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. Plus, it is a global conference, so a lot of smartphone manufacturers that we don't get here in the U.S. show up to this, which means we get a little bit of an insight into how other markets are thinking about smartphones, which could give us a clue about where our own domestic smartphone market is going to go.
A lot of times, these big meetups, they show you all the fancy stuff, and I know that's happening here. But are there also some budget phones that they're revealing? Because everybody likes a deal. Everybody likes to save a little bit of money if they can.
Yeah, absolutely. So Samsung is at this event, and their whole announcement this year is about their budget phones. So normally when we're talking about Samsung phones, we're talking about the S-series devices, the Galaxy S25, for instance. However, they also have a different range of phones called the A-series. They have 3 new ones of these, the A26, A36, and A56. And these start, the A26 does, at $299, and the A56 goes up to about $500. So these are their sort of entry to mid-level devices. They come with the latest Samsung processors, not necessarily the highest-end ones, but newer processors. And you basically get a pretty nice functional phone. Doesn't have like the nicest camera. It doesn't run all the features necessarily. But if you're looking for something that just works, right, makes phone calls, can look things up on the internet, has a decent, if not standout camera, these are generally speaking pretty nice devices. In addition to that, if you're not a Samsung person, but you are an Android person, you can go over to Nothing, which is a relatively new smartphone brand. It is a company that sells phones in the U.S. they this morning showed off two new devices, the 3A and the 3A Pro. These start at in the $300 range to the $450 range. And these are kind of interesting smartphones because they have transparent back panels to them. I actually talked to the CEO of this company a few years ago, and his whole deal is he wants to bring interesting, fun stuff back to the smartphone market. He sees it as having gotten a little too boring, a little too samey. So these transparent back panels with lights incorporated into the design of the phone is his way of doing that. That also has some AI features baked into it as well, but all of that is yours for less than $500 in generally speaking. So that's kind of one of the mid-range phones that we're paying attention to at Mobile World Congress.
So, Mike, it seems like a pretty big event, but Apple sits it out. Why?
Apple always sits these things out. Apple, of course, is a $3 trillion company almost, and they behave that way, right? They're not going to show up to a party and share the limelight with any of their competitors, Google, Samsung, whatever. They like to control the whole affair. That's why they do their own pre-recorded live-streamed events whenever they want to show off something new, and that is absolutely what they did today, in part because they wanted to take a little bit of the shine off all the Mobile World Congress announcements. There are two new iPads that Apple announced via press release today, the iPad Standard and the iPad Air. They're both getting sort of minor spec upgrades. There's a new processor in the iPad Air, which is kind of their mid-range device. We are also potentially expecting a new MacBook Air, I should say, their entry-level laptop. That is something that was teased by Apple CEO Tim Cook in a video yesterday. He said there's something in the air, and he posted that to social media. So that seems to imply that Apple is focused on their sort of entry-level devices, and we absolutely saw that with some new iPads earlier today.
Okay, question though, back to Barcelona for a moment. Are there robots there? Tell me there are robots.
I don't know if I've seen a robot, but we are seeing stuff sort of outside of the smartphone game. We are seeing a phone maker that has built a car, an electric vehicle. Xiaomi is a Chinese smartphone brand that up until a few years ago was just building smartphones. Now they have what they're calling the Su 7 Ultra. This is an electric vehicle that can go from 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds. Looks kind of like a Porsche Taycan, if you know what those look like. That's at the show. There's a number of laptops as well. For example, Lenovo is showing off a new laptop that has a solar panel on the back of it designed to help you top up your phone's charge when you need to do that. And then there's phones that kind of act as sort of ancillary devices. There's the Nubia Music 2. This is a phone that kind of doubles as a portable speaker. They say it's about 600% louder than your average smartphone speaker, and it's got exterior LED lights that light up to allow you to kind of, play along with the music, give you a little bit extra style while you're doing so. Just a couple of the things that are being shown off that are not totally smartphones at this smartphone conference.
Hey, Mike, wanted to ask you real quick about NVIDIA. Their stock tumbled yesterday at a modest gain today, but they've had a bit of a drop since Trump took office. A recent announcement from Donald Trump announcing a partnership with a Taiwanese chip maker that plans to make roots here in the state of Arizona before too long. NVIDIA is also a $3 trillion company. Is this just a kind of a blip on the radar for them, in your opinion?
Very possibly. I mean, NVIDIA is a stock price that we pay very close attention to, just given how quickly it became so valuable. They are a computer chip manufacturer that got their start in gaming technology. GPUs, graphics processing units, are very popular with gaming computers because they have to render three-dimensional environments very quickly. They're also, these GPUs, very good at running artificial intelligence models. So NVIDIA, in a lot of ways, found itself in the right place at the right time when the AI revolution came around, and their stock price and their valuation soared as a result of that. They are the company that Google and OpenAI and others and Meta go to in order to buy the chips that then this AI technology is built on top of. However, that does come with some risk, right? Every negative headline about these generative AI products can have the potential to negatively impact NVIDIA's stock price. That, of course, is true if one of their main competitors, Foxconn or AMD or one of the other ones, has a major partnership with the federal government, for example. So it's something we're paying attention to. Obviously, they are a $2 trillion company at the end of the day, so I think they will financially recover from this. But it is something to pay attention to going forward, just given the sort of ups and downs and the sort of unpredictable nature of generative AI.
Always good information. ABC tech expert Mike Dubusky. Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Mike.
Of course, guys. Take care.
When you come to Kendor Marine, you'll find parts you didn't even know you needed. And if you're a boating enthusiast, like I know you are, then you're going to love wandering the aisles here. We've staked our reputation on thinking just like you. So we know what you need now and what you're going to need later to keep your boat in tip-top shape. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
We have the go-to marine store. And it's not just because we have all the boat parts and supplies you'll ever need, including oddball parts you thought you'd never be able to find. And it's also because we're cheaper than the other guys, too. So why shop anywhere else? This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 5-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Workwear event is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality workwear styles at unbeatable prices. Like 30% off men's work and sport pocket tees, $10.49 each. Save $10 on Ariat Rebar Made Tough work pants. New at Blaine's, men's brunch workwear apparel, 25% off. Plus, earn $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 spent on Carhartt gear. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of the United States trade and foreign policy. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson on March 11th at 1 p.m. for their informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
So this job makes me feel very confident. My goal is always to grow myself and learn new things.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
Wet. It's going to be wet this afternoon and evening, a high of 48. When the rain starts, it's going to linger throughout the day and the evening. Steady rain, maybe some pops of thunder, overnight low of 41. Rain and maybe some snow flurries tomorrow. Could have some slushiness and some windy conditions. Kind of a nasty Wednesday, a high of 46. Temperatures will top out in the mid to upper 30s the rest of the week. 47 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:50. Well, it is coming, the NFL draft to Green Bay. We are within 2 months of having the draft kick off. Toward the end of April, you can expect all eyes of the NFL world to be on Green Bay for maybe the biggest event in our state's history.
I love that sound. I wait for that sound. I wait for the Packers pick, and I actually like watching for the other teams, too. Usually I don't care much about the other teams, but I really like the stories about all these young people, especially when their families are watching, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's take you back to their childhood, and so many of these people have awesome stories, so... And now we got in Green Bay. It's going to be great.
It does sort of let you know that something is about to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a key. That's the noise you listen to if you're watching NFL draft coverage. Well, it's a big day for those who organize the NFL draft. They have announced, the NFL, that fans can now register and secure their spot at the draft in Green Bay by downloading the NFL One Pass app, and then you register online. So it should be noted, it's a free event. If you want to go hang out and be among the crowd, watching the players cruise across stage and bro hug Roger Goodell, you can do that. It's free. So I downloaded the app. It's the NFL's One Pass app. And this is sort of a one-stop shop for everything draft related. And what I noticed about it, after I registered, by the way, and got my QR code, you can register yourself. You can register family members. They ask the age of the family members you're going to bring.
You can register online, too, as well. It takes a couple minutes.
You can do it at NFL.com/draft access or the app. But if you're floating around Green Bay, the app is going to tell you where anything and everything is happening. So I've got my QR code. I am registered. I am good to go if I want to be a spectator at the draft. But they've announced this today, and it's a good idea to get after this thing early. I don't know if there's going to be a shutoff period, right? I mean, there's only so much space for fans to kind of stand and hang out and be a part of it. It's over the course of 3 days, but maybe better to get that QR code secured early.
It's an interesting point because I think about any time that you register for something and just get a QR code and they say space is limited. I mean, at some point, they know, too, that some of these people aren't going to show. It's like even when you had, like, Trump coming or Kamala coming and it was limited space, but you knew that. But at some point, they don't really cut it off. So I don't know. But this is the NFL One Pass. It's almost like your digital key to all the fun. Take me there. I want to go there. And you can see a schedule of the players' signings and their appearances. You can access some photos and videos from the event as it's happening. It's a cool spot.
They've put a lot of information on this as of today. I was on the app a couple of days ago, and the NFL One Pass app a couple of days ago almost mimicked the Discover Green Bay website. It was a lot of the same information.
Yeah.
And the Green Bay Packers and the city of Green Bay, for that matter, work directly with the NFL to make sure that information is consistent across all different mediums. So they've done that here. But now they've got, to your point, some more of the activities popping in so you can get a good glimpse of what your experience might look like on a given day. Maybe you can only make it on Thursday. Maybe you only make it on Friday or Saturday. You know, kind of carve out your own niche, but seeing firsthand just what exactly your options are through the app, I think it's slick. And then once the event begins, of course, you're walking around Green Bay. You've got the app at your fingertips. You can kind of see what's next on the schedule. It's pretty cool.
You can enter to win some prizes. People always love prizes. One of my favorite parts about it when I was checking it out is that the NFL's 24/7 concierge is named Vince. How great is that?
Well, that
Obviously a nod to Vince Lombardi, right?
I love that. It's going to be a crazy event. So I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in our state. We'll never get a Super Bowl in Green Bay. It's not going to happen. Don't try and sell yourself that idea that it's going to happen in Green Bay. This is about as close as Green Bay will get in hosting the NFL draft. A lot of people are going to stay in Milwaukee. Some people will likely stay in Sheboygan or Appleton to make that drive a little bit shorter. It's going to fill up, but we're going to be there in some way, shape, or form. It'd be a very unique opportunity to cover an event of this magnitude. Looking forward to it. We'll come back with some final thoughts after this on WTMJ.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
Fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone!
spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
It is way gone over the batter's eye and out of here for William Contreras.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the A's Thursday at 7:05. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. Painting is the easiest way to breathe new life into your home, whether you're prepping to sell it or just want to fall in love with that house all over again. I know CertaPro Painters has done the work at our house. They're absolutely fantastic. Call your neighborhood CertaPro Painter. Ask about their color consultation services. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. They're fantastic. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This is a much better version than the happy birthday song that I picked to walk into the room to celebrate Greg's birthday.
That is very kind of you. Yes, I didn't know there were actual lyrics beyond the words "Happy Birthday" in the song.
Oh my gosh! I pulled up. I was like, okay, happy birthday. I'm gonna roll this as I'm walking into the room to say happy birthday to Greg. So I pulled up Stevie Wonder's "Happy Birthday." You need to go a minute and 16 seconds before he starts singing "Happy Birthday."
That was a long intro.
I'm like outside.
Yes,
is this the right song? Yeah, it is. Okay, but happy birthday to Greg.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Okay, do you guys remember this? Some of you will. 2017, when the Fire Festival captured the attention of the internet, it was just a debacle. The poorly planned music festival became such a fiasco that it spawned 2 documentaries and landed its founder in prison. But now the Firefest idea is being rekindled. ABC's Mike Dubusky explains.
Firefest 2 is set to kick off in May. The event website promises unforgettable performances on a tropical island off the coast of Mexico, though no set list has been announced yet. Organizer Billy McFarland served 4 years in federal prison in the wake of the first Firefest. Now he says he's finally realizing his dream and that he'd be crazy not to do it again. But tourism officials say they haven't heard of Firefest 2, with one saying this is an event that does not exist. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
He'd be crazy not to do it again, and you'd be crazy to buy a ticket to this.
How much?
Right? Okay, so yeah, tickets go on sale this week, and they range from the $1,400 Ignite Pass all the way up to the $1.1 million Prometheus tier.
What does that mean?
This is so crazy. I don't know why. I mean, and maybe it happens, and maybe it's going to be awesome, but this guy tried to do this before. It was terrible. I mean, the amazing food they had, it was like Wonder Bread with a slice of cheese in the middle. It was disastrous. No music, like tents out there. And no acts have been announced yet.
Well, sign me up. How do you not plunk down $1 million for that?
It just sounds like a scam too.
Yeah, if you've missed our discussion with Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau, maybe that'll be on her list coming up before too long. News is next here on WTMJ, followed by Spanning the State. We're back again tomorrow.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After